Have you ever eaten something so delicious it just makes your clothes fall off? Have you ever wanted to go to war over food? If the answer is yes to either of those questions, you may have seen Food Wars. This is what we're going to be talking about today at Systematic Geekology. My name is Elizabeth Clyde. I also go by the nickname Pam. And joining me is my co-host TJ. How's it going, TJ?
Hey, well, it's going. It'd be going better if my headphones worked.
Right. Yeah, technology. It is what it is. Also, listeners, just a heads up. I'm expecting a very important phone call, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this during the geeking out session. But yeah, so if it gets a little crazy and TJ just goes on a very long tangent, that is why. Just a heads up. TJ, what have you been geeking out on lately?
Um, I don't know if Christian's gonna listen to this episode. Probably so. It's still Valorant. I'm just grinding Valorant really hard, learning as much as I can about the game.
Is that a shooting game or RPG?
Yep,
Okay, I'm not
five
really
v
into.
five tactical shooter.
Alrighty, sounds very violent. I like it. I have been geeking out on, I mentioned this before, but blueprints, specifically construction loans, and learning everything there is to know about building a house. Because tomorrow, Taylor and I will close on 3 acres of land in the upstate. Fun fact, TJ and I will actually be neighbors.
Yeah,
It's
pretty much.
pretty much like 20, 30 minutes away,
Yeah.
even though we're not going to be building for another like couple years. So the phone call I am expecting is from the bank so we can finalize everything for me to sign my life away from tomorrow. So, very important. We will see. They were supposed to call me 2 hours ago, but you know how life is and people are in time. What is time? But other than that, I have been great, just fantastic, not stressed at all. None.
Right. I wouldn't
Nah.
be.
No, I mean, I'm not going into lots and lots of debt and moving my whole life for a piece of land. No, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Promise. Yeah. But moving on, we are going to be talking about Food Wars. TJ, what is your history with this anime?
So Food Wars, I think I started watching the season it debuted just because my current roommate was watching it and was like, "Oh, you got to check this out. This show's hilarious." Uh, correct. I think it is hilarious, and I actually haven't finished it. I haven't caught up. I didn't watch season 5,
Okay.
so
But I
yeah,
mean, you're pretty far. I mean, you know all the dynamics pretty much.
yeah.
Do you
But
know
I love
how it
it.
ends? Do you have any
No,
spoilers? Oh,
mm-mm.
I'm not. Okay. So, see, now I know where to stop because I've seen it all. Pretty much. I can't remember when I started watching this. I think I hate when this happens, but I jumped in at season 2 on Netflix. And I didn't real I thought that was just like its standalone series, and then I found out there was a season 1 and then, binged the whole thing. But this is what Food Wars is about. Soma Yukihira is an aspiring young chef with dreams of surpassing his father in culinary skills. He is then shipped off to Totsuki Culinary Academy, a prestigious and highly competitive cooking school in Japan. And so he's like he's the best of the best in his hometown, besides his father because he can never beat him. And he goes to cooking school where he finds he's not, the biggest fish in the pond. And TJ, do you want to tell the listeners why this anime may be so hilarious to you?
It just is legitimately funny. I think it's not funny for a specific type of people or anything. It's just really funny most of the time, and it's also really easy to like get into it.
Mhm.
It's
I
easy to engross yourself.
Yes, it's an easy watch. I've been rewatching the English dub one, and oh my gosh, the first 3 episodes is strictly fan service. I felt a little blushing and a little dirty watching it because it is straight up ecchi. Like
Yeah,
borderline, I would even argue the first 3 episodes borderline hentai.
yeah. I don't know if easy watch is the right term.
Mhm.
Uh, careful watch, perhaps?
Yes, if you have children, please, please do not watch them with children in the room. Granted, everything is covered, but the first 3 episodes, we can all, think of a few animes where they are doing fan service. They are trying to draw these teenage boys in. And as the anime progressed with the plot, you still have a lot of ichi and a lot of fan service, but I would say it's more tastefully done. As you said, as I said in my intro, have you ever eaten food so good, your clothes fall off? This anime gives the term foodgasm a whole new, like, elevation, if you will.
Yeah. And I think that's part a lot of the funny in the show is just they tasted something so good, their clothes exploded.
And then all of a sudden they eat something with a essence of bacon, and all of a sudden their clothes are off and they are wrapped delectably in bacon with the blushing and the drooling and whatnot. You're like, okay, here we are. Here we
Yeah.
are. It
Yeah,
is quite
it's like
funny.
they took the scene from Ratatouille where Remy is teaching his brother Emile about, like, flavors, and it shows the flavors as colors and patterns and things. It's like that, but, not from ice and not for Disney.
No, definitely not from Disney. Maybe a Disney at night type version, but not the PG. I wouldn't even say not even PG-13. This
No.
goes beyond that. But I will say, because I'm not the biggest fan of Ichi, and what has made me continue watching this anime, especially all the way to the end, the culinary techniques and the culinary like vocabulary and the explanation, it's spot on. I feel like I am getting a refresher in culinary school in some episodes, especially the way they like explain some of these like different machines and how to use it and different, like they even go into like the gastro cooking and whatnot. And I'm like, wow, I remember learning about this. But I being outside the field now, I'm not in that specific culinary field, so I never experience it anymore now. So it's always fun to like see the full scope of the culinary world, even though it's through anime.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part about the show is it's all just very real. Like, it's kinda like watching MasterChef except with nudity.
It really is. And like just watching them chop and they the only thing I kinda get mad at, I was like, "Okay, you really did not whip that up in 10 minutes, okay?" Like, they definitely have the anime timetable and, like, the TV
Yeah,
magic.
sometimes.
Yeah. But the process of cooking and how, like, things have steeped together and how they infuse these different flavors, everything is spot on, which I get really excited about. I even do this when I watch Chop and whatnot. I'm like, "I would do X, Y, and Z." And whenever they do what I say, X, Y, and Z, I'm like, yes, I am the master chef. But me personally, I'm not a big fan of competitions. And
Hmm.
this is the whole basis of this show, which is food war. So they literally throw down with other classmates to see who is the best. And in this anime, there is a hierarchy. There is a top 10. It's called top 10, where these are the best of the best at the school. And because they are top 10, they have so much power. They run the school. It's a hierarchy. It's even higher than a student council, if you will. Like they run the school. They can even like overturn teachers' decisions.
Yeah, that's like I'm not like a huge slice of life, like high school anime kinda guy. This is as close as I wanna get because it does get into, like, the school politics and things.
Yeah, and I'm a big underdog fan. So even though
I
Yukihiro
love
Soma
that
or
movie.
underdog, I'm like, what did I just say? But even though Yukihiro is the underdog, because technically he only has experience in his dad's diner, his like Japanese eatery. And even though his dad is a fantastic chef, that's the only knowledge he has. And he is up against people who have this prestigious upbringing where their parents owned a pâtissier in France and they have like 5 different locations. Or this person's dad is like owns all these hotels and resorts and is the head chef here. And so Yuki here is kind of starting behind the ball, but he has raw natural talent. And I appreciate because a lot of the times I think we just did a My Hero Academia podcasts, a lot of the times people are just so gifted and they're automatically they succeed. But Yukihira, he does the work and then succeeds, and it shows him losing quite a bit too.
Yeah, I feel like he does also kind of get the buff from, like, his dad was a Totsuki Academy graduate,
The number
right?
2, actually, yep,
Yeah.
but he didn't
And he's
know
like
that until a little
yeah, he
bit
doesn't know,
further in. Mhm,
but he does, like, benefit from it because that's how he was raised by one of the greatest chefs in Japan. He just didn't wanna have a fancy restaurant.
mhm.
So, he doesn't benefit it as much as the other kids, but it does help a lot, I think,
Yes.
'cause,
Um,
you know,
well,
everyone
because it
else's perspective is that he's just, some kid with some tiny eatery, which is not entirely true.
mhm. Well, even then, he did a French style of cooking because of how he made the fish, and he was like, "Wait, what is that?" "Well, you just did it." He's like, "This is just what my dad taught me how to do." So, and then, I mean, he's lost to his dad, I think it was 490 times. So he knows defeat and he knows hard work and not giving up. I think that's his best quality is he does not give up and he learns why he failed and he'll overcome whatever hindrance he had.
Yeah. It's really good. It's kinda like, your battle shonen, except instead of getting beaten to death and then getting stronger, he loses really hard and just gets better every
Right.
time.
Oh, and because he will lose so often with every food wars, you kind of don't know if he's going to win or lose. So it kind of keeps you on the edge of your seats. Whereas like a hero versus a villain, you know, like okay, we're gonna end up winning, but you just don't know what's gonna happen with each episode.
Yeah, and it's like it gets tense.
It does. I like even though I remember what happened, rewatching these episodes, I hold my breath, and these are in English dub, so I know some of you guys hate the dubs. Do not hate on my dubs. But the other night, I'm making lumpia, and I'm chopping my cabbage, and I'm mincing my carrots, and I'm, like, watching Food Wars in the background, I'm like, "I am Master Chef, like, we are doing this together." I just get hype being the kitchen, and you can actually repeat in, some of these recipes. That's how well they are detailed out and explained.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot if you wanna just know some about, the culinary world, just watch Food Wars, and you'll get there.
Mhm. Even, like, the hardship of opening a restaurant when they followed one of the alumni's, like, just the the challenges he had to go being a Japanese guy trying to open a French eatery in France, and the not the abuse, what I'm trying to think of, the discrimination, like, he experienced of having to climb his way through the top, that's real. Trying to get customers and repeat customers, as well as just the camaraderie. Like in culinary school, I'm still close to a lot of the people I graduated with because in culinary schools you have to work in groups and you have to work in pairs. So you get really close to your classmates, especially when it's only 16 people classes. So that's fun. I love the friendship in this anime.
Yeah, I don't know, it makes me really jealous because, like, if I could go live in Japan at some school and learn to cook and live in a big house with all of my classmates, I would do it. I would do it so fast.
Well, with all your cooking classmates because
Yeah,
my favorite is everyone has, like, their specialty. So you have one person who specializes in smoking, so he'll, like, smoke meats and whatnot, and then one person who specializes in, like, I think um, it was, like, pickling or something like that. One person's, specialized in wild game. So they're all, like, coming together and, like, they show off and they try and, just improve and beat each other, which is the best way of learning. Like, who doesn't love healthy competition, which almost, some of the competition isn't very healthy, but I would say 98% is healthy competition.
yeah. I feel bad for the smoking guy too, because like, if he, I don't think he has a Shokugeki himself. Like, I don't think he gets in one of them. Not that I've seen, but like,
Mhm.
imagine being told you have 3 hours to make a dish, and all you're really good at is smoking things.
Well, yeah, but you can prepare stuff. in advance. Like whenever they did one of the prelims, he was chosen for the prelims and he just didn't make the finals. I think he was like the top 4 in each group got to go into the finals and he was number 5.
Okay, okay.
So because you get to prep your meats and whatnot to use before the actual competition. But
Cool,
even
cool, cool.
then, even if you're specialized in something, it doesn't matter if you just specialize in meats or smoking meats because you have to know how to pair it with other
Yeah.
things and create the umami flavor, which is really fun because a lot of the stuff they talk about in the anime, I teach my kids. And I hate that it's so itchy because it would be so good to like show this anime with some of like the techniques, but I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole in my classroom. I will get
Yeah.
fired so quick.
Yeah. I had a teacher that got fired for playing, oh my gosh, what is the book called? I feel so bad. Cirque du Freak. He got fired for showing the Cirque du Freak movie on the bus on a field trip once. Uh,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, they don't fire teachers so easily anymore because there's a shortage. It's kinda nice. Got a
No, you
cushy
should try
job.
it though.
I should. Well, I do have anime club, and I always make the disclaimer because it's after school, and I'm like, "Okay, guys." We were watching that one time I got reincarnated as slime, and whenever they, like, kinda do that boost level up and they would focus very heavy on, like, the Girl Goblins goodies, I'm like, "Alright, we're just gonna keep watching it." And then, of course, the teenage boys was like, "Oh my gosh." I was like, "You guys have seen this before. Do not be teenage boys."
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so they're so crazy, these students. But it's fine. Everything's
You
fine.
should watch Food Wars.
They oh my gosh, if we watched Foo, I would not. But the first 3 episodes,
Skip them.
if you guys yeah, I wouldn't say skip them, but whenever it goes as soon as they taste the food, maybe just, like, hit fast forward because I remember, like, straight up a squid violated someone, if you will, because Soma also enjoys to he loves experimenting with different flavor combination. And so he actually gets excited whenever he makes gross combinations because in order to know if something's really good, you have to know when something's really bad. And so he gave someone squid dosed in peanut butter and
Yeah.
it was very grotesque.
Yeah.
Gross. I'm sure.
I
Go
feel like
ahead.
that's not that bad.
I'm not a big squid fan. So
I f
I feel like that is disgusting.
I just think if you undercook squid a little bit and serve it with peanut butter, so it's not, or I
It's
guess
gonna
so
be
it's chewier.
chewy. No,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of the chewy. I can do calamari, but it's because it's fried. But
I just
actual
like peanut butter.
see, peanut butter is not top tier for me either.
Mm.
But gosh, I would love to go to this school specifically for like the pastry and whatnot. Like I get real excited whenever they do a dessert in Food Wars.
Yeah, I just think it'd be so fun.
It would
Like, the
be.
whole time I'm
Why
watching, I was like, "Man, I wish I was one of these kids. This would be so sick."
I just wish anime food existed, you know? Like in Japan, I had a rule whenever we visited, if I've seen it in an anime, it was going in my mouth. And I lived by that rule, and the takoyaki was disgusting, in case anyone wanted to know. The octopus balls you always see at festivals and stuff,
Yeah.
it was awful. Top 3 things worst things I've ever eaten. But they make the food look so good in this anime, like how it
Yeah.
glistens, and I'm like, "It's this isn't real life, but I wanna eat anime food so bad."
Yeah, this is the worst one for it.
Mhm.
It's like, "Oh, that looks amazing." Even if I make that perfectly, it won't look like that.
Maybe we should maybe I'll, convince Josh I need to do a segment on the YouTube and where I try and just recreate anime dishes. See how close I can get. That might be fun.
Just do it.
You know what? I
Or both
might.
of
So
you should do it.
listeners, if you are for this, TJ and I will be your anime chefs, and we would be honored to do so. But TJ, one rule: all of our clothes have to be on.
All?
All.
If the camera's waist up, I'm not wearing pants. That's a waste.
Okay, well, I will be fully closed, so if that's a bummer for you listeners, I'm so sorry. But
Right.
speaking of just, like, how good the food looks, I would even say, like the animation in general is like it's just so beautiful. Like the colors they do, like it makes it so enticing. Um, I would say like the plot, everything in I don't there's not a character I dislike. Even the characters we're supposed to hate, I love them.
Yeah. It's the animation team is so talented. They make food look like it smells good.
I know. Like I get my mouth waters while watching this anime cooking food. And the way they describe it, like it like literally heightens the senses and it makes you want to eat what's on the screen. The way they describe and just the cooking technique. Like they did a lot of research to do this anime. And whenever I
Mhm.
can tell they do a lot of research, I just appreciate the junk out of it.
Yeah. If you love food or silly anime, you should watch Food Wars if you haven't already.
Or Ichi Elements because oh my gosh, this is the most Ichi anime I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah. Well, I assume if they are big ecchi fans, they've already seen it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Is that how you say it? Echi?
That's how I say it.
Oh, I've always heard Ichi, but like I don't know.
I don't know. You've been to Japan.
Yeah, but it's not like I talk to a lot of people, can't speak Japanese. It's not like I went over like, "Hey guys, where can I find the Ichi manga?"
Store? Hentai store? No?
Oh my gosh, they don't even care. So it was so awkward whenever like I was in Japan and we would walk through the manga stores or the magazine stores and whatnot. There would be and it's just the hentai section is boom in your face. And the amount of like old Japanese men that was just like looking through the stuff and you know what they were looking at, I felt so uncomfortable. Like
That's
they
so
weren't even
funny.
trying to be like private about it. I was like, oh my god,
That's so funny.
it's so fun. But yeah, I did
There was
not
no
touch it.
evangelical movement in Japan.
No, and, like,
So
yeah, they didn't even try I mean, they had a corner for it, but, you know, like, in America, you have, like whenever you had the video stores, they had, like, the little cloth you had to go through with the adult films, and so people you didn't see you unless they saw you going in or out.
yeah, I'm not old enough to remember that.
Oh, well, that's how it was in the VHS stores. Now you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else about this anime? We kinda stuck to the premise of it, about what it's about. There is a lot of trials of Yukihira going through the school, like lots of school politics going on where he has to defeat the Big Ten. A lot like of I would say corruptions in the higher up and whatnot. And then not surprisingly, not really any romance, but I'm
Yeah.
okay with it. I mean, there's some we do have, we do have shipping moments. Do you ship Yukihira with anyone?
No.
No?
No.
If you were, because there are 2 options, would
Arena.
you Oh, okay. That's fine. That's not the one I would have chosen. So, Irina is the one with it is called the God tongue, where, like, it literally has her breastfeeding as a baby, and her first words was, "This lacks flavor," talking about the breast milk.
Yeah.
And
No, the
so,
characters. The supporting characters in the show are so good.
so
They're
good.
so good and so quirky. They're like Yu-Gi-Oh! Side characters.
Okay.
Like, if you
I was
watch the
it.
original Yu-Gi-Oh!, you're not gonna forget, like, Bandit Keith or Rex or Weevil or Mako. Also, Mako is pretty much just in this. If you're a big OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan, Mako is in the show. The seafood
Pre
guy.
Yeah, pretty much. I do
Yeah,
love the seafood guy. Gosh, I forgot his name at the
me
moment.
too. He's great, though.
But
He's so
I love the girl with who loves the gastro stuff. He's like, "I told you to get naan." She's like, "I did get naan," but she literally broke it down and, like, made it into a lollipop, and she's like, here's naan, like, the
yeah,
bread." And he's like, "This is not what we're supposed to do." She's like, "No, this is naan." I'm like, "She's not wrong. She is
yeah.
not wrong."
No, I love her. Molecular gastronomy is so interesting.
It is so good. We did that very low because in culinary school, as the one I went to, and I'm sure, like, more prestigious ones has more classes, but that was such a small lesson in it because it's so niche. So we did like a small little overview where I made powder out of Nutella. That was fun. And I made like the little pearls, like with liquids, like the little tapioca and whatnot. So I did a few of it, but it wasn't anything like what's in the show with the gastro food.
Yeah, because this started, I think, like, during the molecular gastronomy boom, where it, like, kind of became popular in media, like, there was a Simpsons episode about it, How I Met Your Mother had an episode with it in it, I'm pretty sure, and it just got kind of popular for a few years, and that's when this series started, I think,
Mhm.
so it got to benefit when with a really cool, really quirky character whose name I can never remember, Alice.
Yep, Alice.
I love her, though, she's great.
Mhm. And then what's the girl with the blue hair name again? Because even though I'm watching it right now, like, it's like noise in the background. So, it's Megumi, Miskatni, Miss something. I don't know. Anyway, but it's like this little girl because you always have to have, like, the little helpless character, but she's not really helpless. She just gets so nervous, she gets in her own head and messes up, and so everyone thinks she's, like, just this no-name person, but she's actually, like, very talented, she just doesn't have the confidence. So it's fun seeing her gain confidence throughout the anime series, and that's who I ship Yukihiro with. But
Mm,
Yukihiro only has eyes for food.
yep, and they do the whole, like, American student. Like, how I talked about Bandit Keith a minute ago,
Mhm,
they do, like, stereotypical, there's an American student, she is blonde, she cooks meat,
mhm.
she wears skimpy clothes.
Her name is Meat Meat.
Yep.
Her
She
nickname
wears
is
short
Meat Meat,
shorts.
with a bikini top that's literally an American flag,
Yeah,
tan skin, blonde hair,
yep.
basic babe.
I wish
But
I could be the American that Japan wants me to be.
me too, honestly. I would have a much more flattering figure if I did. And I would be
We
a
all
little bit
would.
tanner. Yes, we all would.
You're brown.
Yeah, but I think I would be tanner. You know what I mean? Like I'm not olive right now.
You can just go outside.
I can. It's just a lot of work.
I agree, yeah. I
Mhm,
also used
mhm.
to tan pretty dark.
It is a nice one. So we talked pretty much about the whole thing. I'm trying to think of anything else we can talk about. I really enjoy also how like you see different cultures of food as well. And I feel like it's very cultural like sensitive, if you will. Like it does not take any stereotypes of a culture with their
Mhm,
food, if that makes sense. It's very
mhm.
matter of fact. This is the region, this is a little bit of the history, and this is their food. And everyone respects the different food too.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
So
It's so good, and you get people at this school from Italy and France and Sweden and America. Oh, yeah.
America.
And it's just so cool, and they all know Japanese.
Somehow they do. I
Super
always
easy to learn.
wish so easy. I always wished is whether it's dubbed or subbed, like if they were from a different country, they would have that accent, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
everyone has the Japanese accent, or even if it's dubbed. Sometimes in dubbed, like you get a different accent, but in this one, either like the Italian boys or they sound just like Americans.
Yep.
But
Which, yeah, it usually happens if someone learns English through media.
mm, yeah, because if they get raised early on or like learn how to be bilingual, like from a English tutor, they're gonna have a regular well, what we would say or is a regular English accent, so it's pretty
Yeah.
fun. I mean, I learned so much still, and I am in the culinary field from this anime, so definitely I would give this one an 8 out of 10. I
Yeah.
would rate it higher if it wasn't for the ichi.
Yeah, I agree. 10 out of I'm just kidding. Uh, I'd probably give it at least an 8, maybe 8.5, maybe 9. I really love this series, and I'm probably gonna finish it tonight, actually. I just forgot the 5th plate came out.
Mhm.
I
It
started
came out
reading everything else.
yeah, 2019, was when the 5th season came out.
It got delayed, though,
Did it?
because COVID happened,
Okay,
so they
maybe
stopped
it's
production for a long time.
got it. Well, gosh, the internet semi lied to me then.
Yep.
Just semi. Well, great. Do you have any other comments, concerns, questions about Food Wars? I feel like maybe the next time we all meet up, whether it's, in 2 years at my future lake house, you and I should do a Food Wars.
Mm, okay.
That would be so fun.
That would be fun. I'm gonna get a knife roll before then, so I don't have to carry my, like, knife holder.
Hmm, I like it. But
That's what I want.
we would have to do 2 because I specialize in desserts. So, we would have to do 1, like, savory and 1 dessert.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun, actually.
Mhm, mhm. And then, if you guys wanna, want our anime food series, let us know.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it
I
anyway, and,
Yeah,
you know
we will do it. Can you make us YouTube sensation listeners, please? Like, I don't really wanna be, like, famous, but I just wanna know I have friends, actually. That would be
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, can we be parasocial?
What does that mean?
Like, not social? Like, almost
Ooh.
social? Like, when people think they're in
Yeah.
a relationship with a celebrity? Stuff like that?
Wait, you mean Orlando Bloom is not my sugar daddy?
No, I'm sure he is.
Mhm, 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 mhm. Got it.
Mhm.
Well, moving on. Guys, thanks so much for listening. If you want to continue this conversation, please join us on Discord. I love hearing about your day to day, your week to week. Let us know what other topics you would like us to discuss. Also, if you are a Patreon subscriber member, you get this a bonus question at the end. So make sure you stay tuned for just a little bit more. I like to call it the after party,
Yeah.
if you will. Like, who doesn't wanna
Then
spend a little bit more time with TJ and I?
yeah, then you'll also get access to my apron-only cooking anime video.
Yes, with no pants.
Yeah, apron only.
Well, yeah, that makes sense, but I just wanted to, reinstate no pants. Perfect. Well, guys, continue to live, laugh, love, and watch anime. We will see you in the next episode.